This is Komitas. He is an Armenian composer who was born in 1869 and died in 1935. Salomon Sogomonian was born in 1869 to a shoemaker who was his father and a carpet weaver who was his mother. They were both known for having beautiful singing voices, and they passed that gift down to him. His mother died not even a year after he was born, and his father was so busy he had to be sent away to be raised by his grandmother. At 7 years old, he went to elementary school, and around 11, when he finished, his father sent him off to secondary school, where he failed after only 4 months. When he returned home, he had found out he was an orphan, as his father had passed away while he was gone at school. His luck turned around when a bishop came to town and selected him out of a group of almost 20 orphans to go study at the church of Echmiadzin. He went and studied at a seminary under the priest of Cantina. In 1890 he was ordained as a monk, and by 1893 he was ordained as a priest and given the new name Komitas. In 1895, Komitas went to Europe to study music at the Tiflis Music College. However, he met composer Makar Yakhmalian, who received his education at the Conservatory of Petersburg. He decided to take a course on harmony by that composer rather than go to Tiflis. Later on, he went to Berlin, where he went to study under the protection of Catholicos. He was financed by an oil man named Alexander Montashian. In Berlin, he went to the private conservatory of Professor Richard Schmidt. At the conservatory, he took private classes on singing to make his voice even better than it already was. On top of that, he was taking regular classes such as philosophy, ethics, and history of music. When Komitas returned to Echmiadzin in 1899, he started working in his musical activity right away. He changed the system of teaching in the seminary, as well as organizing a small orchestra and perfecting the performance levels of the choir. While at the church, he did serious scientific research work about Armenian folk music and church melodies, and he worked on his works such as Sansat Zer and his opera Anush, which he started in 1904. He focused on themes concerning folk music and revealed the content of folk songs. Doing this had created an inescapable conflict between him and the church. The indifference between them and the negative attitude towards him made him very uncomfortable there, and he wanted to leave. He sent a letter begging them to release him and let him create and live quietly, and they never answered. Then, in 1910, he left and went to Constantinople in hope that he could have creative freedom there and achieve his dreams in the music world. While he was in Constantinople, he was not greeted with the kindness that he would have expected, but he was still able to get a lot of work done, and he worked hard while there. He spent most of his time giving presentations and lectures, and he also acted as a soloist and conductor. While he was doing this, a well-known composer, Claude Debussy, told him, "Brilliant Father Komitas, I bow before your musical genius." This gives you an idea of how popular he was among other composers and other people in the music world. Things took a turn for the worse in April 1915 when Komitas was arrested together with a bunch of other Armenian writers, publicists, physicians, and lawyers, and they were sent to Anatolia, where they basically exterminated all the Armenians except for Komitas, because influential figures got him out of there and sent him home to Constantinople. After this, he was left sad and gloomy, and he was never seen in the outer world. A year after he returned from the execution camp, his PTSD got the best of him, and he had to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Paris, where he spent the last 20 years of his life, with no medicine hoping to pull him out of what he was in. Then, after 20 years in the psychiatric hospital, Komitas dies. Komitas is remembered for his distinct Armenian style of music. He spent a lot of time researching the different styles and history of it, and it made him a very unique kind of composer of the time. He also taught music at Echmiadzin and revolutionized the way everything was taught. As well as this, while he was there, he did extensive research into it, like I mentioned before. All of this work made him widely recognized by other musicians. When Komitas died, he was a sort of hero to his people, because he was the only one putting out their kind of music and doing the research and putting the time in for their culture and their history, and they appreciated it a lot. When he died, the people said that he would live on through them forever. Now I'm going to show you a song by Komitas called Vargushan Body Dance. I really like this piece because it highlights his distinct style of Armenian music and his unique patterns and articulations. I really like this piece because it has a really unique Middle Eastern key signature and as well as has really neat articulations. It really shows off his skills as a composer. In this piece, you can see his use of different dynamic levels and different notes and different just ways to play the instruments, and I think it's really interesting. This is my works cited page.